Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're all doing very well. This is my little friend, and he's going to help us read today. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm a sloth. Don't you just love sloths? Everybody has them now. They're so cute. I love them. This is my daughter Kendall's sloth. What book are we going to read today? We're going to read a book called Be Nice to Spiders. Okay, let's look at it. Get the book. Here it is. It's called Be Nice to Spiders. This is another book Miss Small used to get read to her when she was little. And now I'm going to read it to you all. All right. As you can see on the beginning page, there's a little writing up here, and that's my sister Julie wrote that on there when she was probably about 9 years old. So this is a pretty old book. I won't tell you how old we are. All right, Be Nice to Spiders by Margaret Bloy Graham. That's the author. All righty. One morning, as the keeper of the zoo was about to unlock the gate, he noticed something on the steps. It was a matchbook with a note that read, "Please look after Helen. I've had her since she was a baby, but I can't keep her anymore. We have to move to an apartment that won't take pets. Thanks, Billy." And as you can see, this is a zoo, and that's a zookeeper, and you can see the animals in the zoo. And here's the matchbook with the note at the bottom. So there's a pet in that matchbook. I wonder what it could be. The keeper opened the matchbook, and out jumped Helen. "Great Scott," he said, "a spider!" He tried to catch her, but Helen was far too fast for him. She had 8 legs and moved like lightning. So look at that. He opened it up, and there's Helen. There's a squirrel. It looks like Helen's going for that tree. Helen ran up a big maple tree. Then she quickly spun a long silk thread and lowered herself onto the ventilator of a big building. So look at her. Oh, she's so cute. Can you all see her? She has a little smile on her face. I wish that was real, that spiders really had smiles on their faces. Oh my goodness, look at this. It was the lion house. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Small. I forgot to show you one thing. This is a ventilator. It's really like where smoke comes out of the top of the house. And I wanted to make sure you knew what that was. All right, and the ventilator that we're talking about went into the lion house. And look at this lion. Doesn't he look, irritated with all those flies? It was the lion house. There was a big old lion in one cage and a mother lion and her cubs in another. There were also lots of flies. They were buzzing in the lion's ears and crawling on their noses. The lions were annoyed, but Helen was delighted. She loved to eat flies. Right away, she set to work to catch them. She began by spinning web with her silk thread. And look at this, the mother lion and her cubs, and they're so bothered by all those flies. And there's Helen right up here in one part of the cage. And you all just learned about spiders, how they make their webs, how beautiful webs are. It says, first Helen spun the outside threads, then she dropped straight down. And I'll show you each of these. She dropped straight down. Next, she spun lots of threads from the center to the outside, right there. Then she spun the little spiral in the middle. See the little spiral right in the middle of the web? Finally, she spun a big spiral. This part of the web was very sticky. So that's the sticky part of the web. And see, she's in the middle. She doesn't stick to it because she has that special stuff on her feet that keeps her from sticking to her own web. Oh my goodness, look at this next page. When Helen had finished, she sat in the center and waited. One by one, the flies got caught in the sticky part of the web. And one by one, Helen ate them. Ooh. To us, that sounds really gross, but to her, that was like a huge feast. I hate the idea of eating flies, but boy, oh boy, if you've ever had a fly around you, you want it gone. Oh, look at this. The next day, look at the cages. Look at how happy the lions are, and look at Helen up in the cage. It says a week went by. Helen kept catching and eating flies until there were no flies in the lion house. She had caught and eaten them all. Now the big old lion snoozed peacefully all day long, and Mother Lion licked her cubs and purred. And Helen was fat and satisfied. Look at that. What a wonderful picture. Remember how irritated they were? And now they're so happy and they're playing. Oh my, look at this scene. You see this with the elephants? Next, Helen moved to the elephant house. There were lots of flies there too, and elephants don't like flies any better than lions do. And look at that. I'll show you really close. See how, oh, they're just so bothered by all those flies. And look, there's Helen. Here she comes. In a week, Helen had caught all the flies in the elephant house. The mother elephant and her baby were happy and could once again enjoy a bath. Oh, look, there she is, and she's eaten all the flies, and they're very, very happy spraying themselves. I love that she can help these animals out. Remember, we just went to Lowry Park Zoo, and you saw a lot of animals, but they were in much bigger places than these cages, thank goodness. Then Helen moved to the zebra house. Flies were crawling all over the zebras and driving them wild. Oh my goodness, look at that. They're kicking their hooves up, and here comes Helen. Helen seems to be getting bigger and bigger by the minute. As soon as Helen had caught all the flies there, the zebras were able to eat their hay in peace. And there they are, very, very happy. And there's Helen up in the cage. I think she's the best thing to happen to this zoo. Oh, look at the whole zoo all together. See how happy everybody is? Look at all those animals. See, there's the lion cage, there's the zebra cage, and the elephant cage. Now, I used to look at this picture for a really long time, and you can do that too. You can actually pause this picture and keep looking at it as long as you wish, or go back to it after we're finished with the story. It says Helen went from one building to another, spinning webs and eating up all the flies. The zoo became a peaceful place. All the animals were happy and contented. As for Helen, she was happy and contented too. It was a spider's paradise. My goodness, was it ever. One morning, the keeper blew his whistle 3 times. All the men came running, and the animals looked up to see what was going on. "Boys," said the keeper, "the mayor is coming to inspect the zoo this afternoon at 4. The animals look fine, but the cages sure do need cleaning up. And don't forget to get rid of all those spider webs." Uh-oh. They're going to be cleaning all this Helen's work up. "But Chief," said the assistant, scratching his head, "I thought spiders were supposed to be sort of useful." "Joe," said the keeper, "those webs make the place look a mess. Okay, boys, get busy." The men started sweeping the cages. Then they hosed and scrubbed them down. So you can see the head keeper is telling them to clean everything. And there's the monkeys. And you can see they're getting ready to clean everything. I wonder what's going to happen. All right, when they were cleaning the camel house, one of the men saw Helen. "Quick, give me a broom," he shouted, and took a big swing at her. But Helen had disappeared. Oh my goodness, look at this. He was going to try to kill Helen. That's not good. He probably doesn't realize how useful spiders are. The whole zoo was clean and shining when the mayor arrived. "Excellent," he said. "I'm delighted. I've never seen a place so neat and the animals looking so well. Look at that. So there's the mayor down there, and there's a little boy and a couple, and there's all the other people in the zoo. And so far, everything looks good. Meanwhile, Helen was still in the camel house, hiding in a crack in the ceiling. As the days went by, she grew very hungry, but she didn't dare come out. The flies began coming back, and the camels were irritable again. And last, Helen became so hungry she couldn't stand it any longer. That night, when no one was around, she started spinning another web. And there she is. See how big she is? She's going to start spinning another web. From then on, Helen stayed in the camel house catching flies, but she didn't dare go anywhere else, which was lucky for the camels. They were happy and contented again. So they were so happy. They were probably the only animals in the zoo that were happy because she was there catching all the flies. Oh my goodness, but look at the rest of the zoo. The rest of the zoo. You see all those flies? And around the people at the zoo, and around the seals, and around the lions and the zebras. And it says, but everywhere else in the zoo, it was a different story. It didn't take long for the flies to come back to bother all the other animals. The keeper went from cage to cage. I can't understand it, Joe, he said. When the mayor was here, the animals were in such good shape. But now look at them. You're right, Chief, said Joe. They sure look miserable. Oh boy, oh boy. And see, the flies are even around the keeper and Joe, the guy he's talking to. You can't see the camels, I don't think, on this page. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at the camels. The last stop was the camel house. Why, the camels seem fine, said the keeper. And there don't seem to be any flies in here, said Joe. They both looked around very carefully. Look, Chief, Joe shouted. Now I know what's going on. See that spider up there? It's eating all the flies. That's why the camels look so good. Spiders are useful. That's what I tried to tell you the other day. Of course, Joe, cried the keeper. I should have known it all along. Let's call the men. So I wonder what they're going to do. Can you see that? They see that she's caught some flies and the camels are so peaceful. He blew his whistle and the men came running. Boys, he said, Joe has made a great discovery. Spiders are good for the zoo. They keep the flies from bothering the animals. They help us do our job. So from now on, there's a new rule. Be nice to spiders. Soon the zoo became famous for its happy, healthy animals, and Helen was treated like a queen. Look at her. Look at her up there. She's so fat in her web, and she's not scared anymore. One day, Helen's picture appeared on the front page of the paper. The headline read, Local Zoo named Best of the Year. 3 cheers for spiders, says Keeper. That evening, the father of the little boy who had left Helen at the zoo said, Billy, look at this. Hey, it's my spider, Billy shouted. It's Helen. Well, well, said the father. Instead of the zoo taking care of Helen, Helen seems to be taking care of the zoo. And look, there's the boy that left the spider on the front step of the zoo all that time ago. That was his pet, Helen. That's so cute. I love this book. And it says the end, and it shows Helen coming down from the words. On the back cover, it shows a little picture of the zoo with Helen up in the gate. I hope you all really enjoyed that book. Did you enjoy that book? I really enjoyed that book. Now you all can rewind this book as many times as you want and rewatch or watch some other stories on the channel, and I'll be putting some other books on pretty soon. And like I say in every video, I miss you all so much, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Have a very good night. Bye.